Okay, look at me.
Do I have strawberry in my teeth?
Well, I can't really see. How look on? Hang on. Now you look okay.
I'm ready.
I don't know what to say.
You're all nervous.
Oh, I don't know how to.
Hi guys.
Hi sisters. Oh.
Hey sisters.
So I'm just gonna get. I don't know what to say. I should have written notes, shouldn't I? So basically, what we're going to be doing today. No, that's not right.
This is the first video of the 3 that we're going to be doing
That's
today.
before, because there'll be a guy's makeup as well.
Oh what?
A guy's makeup.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So the first. Ready?
Ready. Oh, silent.
Yeah, put it on Do Not Disturb.
Can we say it together? Hey guys! Hey!
No, three. On 3. 3, 2, 1.
Hey guys!
No, it needs to be more excited than that. What we're going to do now is we're going to jump straight in and go. No, I need to introduce you first.
I don't think I need an introduction.
Yeah, you do.
But they all know who I am.
No, it's fine. The people of YouTube won't know.
Okay.
Hey guys! So this is the first video of the 4 that we're going to be recording for Legally Blonde. This is going to be the makeup tutorial for the female ensemble. This is Rihanna, as you all know. And it's basically going to be a full coverage, very simplistic theatrical look. I'll teach you how to keep it on for the whole entire show, how to not sweat through it, and how to make sure that your skin tone is perfect for stage. So let's jump straight into it.
Woohoo!
Yeah! Yes! Oh, right, let's go. Okay, so I've just washed my hands, and the first thing we are going to do... What?
Sorry.
Did you not expect me to say that I washed my hands? Okay, so I've just finished washing my hands. Rihanna's just washed her face, so she's got no makeup on at all. First thing we're going to do is prime. So we're going to use the Benefit Professional. The reason it's so important to prime is because you want a barrier between the makeup and your skin. Because we're going to be putting a lot on, it's very important that it doesn't seep into your skin, and it also helps not sweat it off, because there's going to be something in the way of your sweat and the makeup basically. It has a little bit of a tint and it makes you very matte as well. Like I said, it absorbs the oils, which is good for
stage.
Which is, yeah, very good for stage. We are going to be baking a lot later as well, but...
Can't wait. I never go full coverage, this is going to be so funny. So what foundation are you going to use today, Callum?
So Rihanna, the foundation that we're going to be using is the Revolution Fast Base Stick. We are going to be providing you with these, about 3 or 4 colours maybe. This one is basically dark enough for stage, it's still kind of fair, but it is kind of yellow toned. So we'll cancel that out when we come to putting on our face powders and bronzing.
Because I'm not yellow at all.
No.
But
you're very neutral.
I am.
So the way I'm going to...
I am!
The way I'm going to apply this is I'm basically just going to put like a few swipes on her face. But because it's so full coverage, you don't need too much. Also, if you're going to go in with concealer later, which we will be doing, there's not really much point in packing on a load of cakey foundation, because it will just look way too cakey at the end of it. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the Real Techniques buffing brush, and I'm going to work in circular motions around the face. And what this is going to do is, because it's very full coverage foundation, it's going to give us kind of a medium coverage sort of finish to the skin, as if we used a beauty blender it would be extremely full coverage. And also this product's kind of hard to work with once it's been sat on your face for a little while, so the buffing will really help move it around and even everything out.
So how do they know if they've blended it enough?
So what I'd say is, if the skin tone is looking even and there's no redness or blemishes showing through it, then you know that it's completely blended and even. What I would say is, if you needed to go in with a little bit of foundation again on some areas where you may need it, just look up for me, then I'd say definitely do that. But because this is obviously going to be darker than your skin, it's a good idea to make sure that you've got enough of it on. Don't be afraid to put enough on, but also don't put on too much because you don't want to look cakey. And if we're going in with concealer later to add dimension and to brighten things up, then you also don't want to overcake your face. Okay, so what I've just done on Rihanna is, if you lift your chin, I have just popped some foundation on the neck here. Obviously I haven't put it along her cleavage area, just because she's going home and we don't want to cover in foundation. You can see from the face to the neck, like this portion, it's the same sort of skin tone. However, you can see that there's a clear line here where her collarbones are, from her pale natural shade to her yellowy tan shade that we just put on her. So obviously on the day you want to make sure that your skin tone is completely even. Okay, so what I'm going in with now is some Maybelline Fit Me concealer. This is in the shade 10. This is much, well, not much lighter. This is a little bit lighter, if you look up for me. This is a little bit lighter than Rihanna's skin tone. However, it's not white. It's more beige, more neutral. Basically, we just want to add slight highlights to the face, and we just want to really cancel out any darkness that she may have going on, because we don't want any of that showing through on the stage, but we still want to add a little bit of dimension by adding some lighter colour.
What are you blending my concealer out with, Callum?
So Rihanna, I am blending out the concealer just with a little beauty blender. What I'd say is buy a beauty blender or buy a Real Technique sponge. Don't go on Amazon and pay like 99p for a beauty blender, because they are absolutely terrible. It will just take off all of the hard work that you've done. There's no point in buying them because they're just terrible. You can get these for I think they're £6.
They're on sale in Boots at the moment, half price.
Great, so they're about £3 or £4. So yeah, they're extremely cheap. Or you can even get 2 of them for £10. I think the set is.
So do they have to use a beauty blender, or can they use a brush?
You don't have to use a beauty blender. You can use smaller brushes like this.
Just if they don't want to buy a beauty blender.
Yeah, this is the Zoeva 110.
I fucking love Zoeva.
Yeah, they're great. This brush fits really nicely underneath the eye. This is also the Real Techniques Deluxe Crease Brush. Now the thing is, with the eye, this bone up here, it's called the orbital bone. This bone up here, it's designed to fit very nicely in this bone. However, because it's a circle, it'll fit very nicely under here as well. So you can use it in the crease or for your like inner darker circles. So if you look up for me, what I'm going to do is just like fit it in there, and you can see it fits really nicely in that little space under the eye. Whipping out orbital bone there, because I'm a trained makeup artist. So what I'm doing now is I'm making sure that Rihanna's face is blended well and there isn't any creases. Look up for me. Because what we're going to do now is we're going to go in with powder and set her face.
Woohoo!
This is an extremely important part in making sure that makeup lasts for a long time. So basically what we're going to do is I'm going to take a damp beauty blender. This is a smaller one just so I can get more precision. And I'm just tapping it into the powder, into the loose powder, and with this I'm just going to press it kind of hard, kind of not enough to poke our eye out. I'm just pouncing it into her skin, and I'm just going to pounce a little bit into the rest of the face too, wherever we put foundation, just to make sure that it's all matte, it's all set. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to dust off all the powder that I've added to Rihanna's face, just to set it. And after this we shall go on to the rest of the face, bronzer, blush, highlighter, and then get the face baking and ready whilst we're doing the eyes. So what I'm taking is Hoola bronzer on. This is actually a duo blush brush. So
you know the Hoola bronzer?
Yes.
What about that bronzer is vital for the stage?
It's orange, basically.
Nice.
It's dark. You don't want to use something that isn't going to show up. If you use a pale ass bronzer, then it's not going to show up. Whatever you'd use for your normal everyday, it doesn't translate onto stage. So the way I apply bronzer is I stipple. You never want to swipe like this because you're just going to have too much bronzer on there. The way to do it is get your bronzer, tap it in, tap off the excess and then stipple because it's buildable. You won't put too much on, you won't end up looking muddy, and you can basically control it much more than if you were swiping and chucking it everywhere. Now the brush I'm going to go in with is this brush by Benefit. It's called Coralista, and it's sort of a corally, sort of orange peach blush. It's nothing pink, it's nothing that's going to make you look ridiculously like Barbie, but what it is going to do is add a lovely glow to the apples and the tops of your cheeks. Again, I stipple this.
So do you recommend to stay away from the pink blush then for the stage?
Yeah, the only sort of blush that I'd say would work pink wise is this blush. You never want to use something like Dandelion from Benefit because it's just too pink. It'll look like white on your face. It won't work. You want to use darker tone blushes. Okay, now comes the fun part of baking. And what I'm going to do is just cut her cheek like this. And all this is going to do is, again, erase anywhere that we went wrong, but also make sure that the colour doesn't come too far down that she just looks muddy. I can actually hear her cackling downstairs.
No, I know.
So they're home. Look who's home.
Wow, look at the studio.
We're filming.
Oh! I think I look pretty.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing now is I'm just wiping off Rihanna's bake.
And I have had this on for about 15 minutes now.
Yeah, 10 to 15 minutes. All this does is
Tweedledum and Tweedledee over there, stormed in.
Yeah, so Yvette and Oscar are now making dinner.
Hi.
So if you hear any background noise, just ignore it.
They're making a papa's pizza pasta.
They're not important.
That's not making the cut.
Oh, it is making the cut. So what we're doing now is we're going to do Rihanna's brows. We're using this brow kit from Sleek in the shade Light. It's basically sort of a jelly pomade type consistency and also a powder. This is a lot lighter than Rihanna would usually use because obviously she's going to be blonde.
How do we avoid having block growth eyebrows?
Okay. As you can see, Rihanna's brow is looking extremely full right now. However, that is not going to be the case forever. What I've done is I have run through brow powder all throughout her brow, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a clean brush, the same brush that we used for concealer. It still does have some concealer on it, but if you just rub it on your hand, it'll come off. And we are going to blend right at the front of the brow, and it's going to feather out the front of the brow so that you don't have block eyebrows. Always use brow powder. Do not use pomade. They will look too thick, they will look too blocky. You can either use a brow pencil. You right?
Yep.
So as I was saying, you can either use a brow pencil or a brow powder. Do not use a pomade. It just, they'll be too thick.
No.
So what are you using, guys?
Shh, quiet in the studio. Thanks.
So what are you using now?
Go on the studio.
Quiet set.
So, what are you using right now?
We have so much to do. So what are you using now? Callan?
So what I'm going to use is a little bit of brow gel, just to run through the brows, and all this is going to do is set the brows into place and define them a little bit more.
So will this stop, you know what I'm talking about, my costume changes?
Yes, so this will stop everything rubbing off.
Thank goodness.
There we go, snatched brows. Right, you can talk now.
So what are you doing?
So what I'm going to do is prime her eyelids, so close your eyes. What I'm doing is using a little bit of a pomade concealer that we used last time to rub all over the eyelids, and the most important thing is I'm not going to set it because I want it to be a sticky base for the eyeshadow to stick to.
So why should we use primer?
Same reason you used it on your face basically. You just want it to last a lot longer you want all the oils that you produce on your eyelids to not show through, and you do produce quite a lot of oils on your eyelids, so best thing to do is prime it with a little bit of concealer, make sure there's no creases, and then go straight in with your eyeshadow. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is go in with her eyeshadow. This eyeshadow look is extremely simple. All it consists of is 4 different shades, and it's going to be extremely effective in making your eyes look defined under the stage lights. So the first colour I'm going in with is a medium brown shade, and I'm popping this all in the crease and in the outer V, as you can see. And I'm basically just laying it down first. I'm not too bothered about blending or anything like that. You just want to make sure that the colours and the pigments on there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a large fluffy brush and make sure it's clean, and I'm going to basically almost scratch around the edges of this colour that we've put on to make sure that it's extremely blended. The most important thing with your eyeshadow is just make sure it's all blended together. It doesn't need to be perfect, just as long as you spend time blending it, and it'll look as professional as it can do. Okay, so the next colour that I'm going in with is a dark brown, and this is going to be concentrated sort of along the outer lash line, up a little bit more until about there, and then in the crease. Just keep basically stamping this on the outer V, like so, until we have the concentration that we want. And all this is going to do is basically make our eyes look way more defined than they actually are. And again, you're going heavy because you'll be on the stage, so you want to over accentuate everything. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm taking the third colour in the eyeshadow. This is a matte cream colour, and I'm taking it all over the lid. And all this is doing is basically brightening up the eye. You don't want to take it all the way into the corner where we put our darker colour. You just want to lightly pat it and make sure it's all blended.
Oh yeah, come on then.
There we go, you can see him! Look at him!
Come on,
good boy, Jizzy!
Jizzy.
Okay, so what we're going to do now is we are going to take the fourth and final colour. Oh my god! Shut
I heard quiet on the set!
So this is a pink with a reflex gold, and I'm just applying it where we applied that cream shadow basically.
Wanna go down?
Bye Jess!
See you later, babe.
So what I'm going to do now is do the other eye off camera, and then we'll be back to do highlighter, lips, lashes, and then we'll all be done.
Bye, sisters!
Okay, so these are the eyelashes that you guys will be provided with. These are the Flutter Lashes by PS Love. They're basically just from Primark. They're £1. They're very good, however, because they're extremely fluttery and they're extremely spaced out. They'll look really natural when you've got them on. We're not going to be applying lashes to Rihanna because she's allergic to latex. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of black and I'm going to run it along her top lash line. What this would do is, well, it's going to define her eyes more, but also it would hide the band of the eyelash as well. Very important when you put the black on the lash line, you don't wing it out like eyeshadow because we don't want anybody with wings. All we want is a little bit of black just along the lash line. Smoke it out a little bit, just to add definition, and also just to hide that band if we were going to put lashes on. These are the eyes completely finished. All I've used is 5 different colours. I've used one neutral brown in the crease, a darker brown in the outer V. I've used a porcelain cream shade on the eye to give a base, and then I've also used whatever colour you want. This is like a goldy pink. I've used it all over the lid, and then I've used a black just to pop it along her waterline, hide the band of the lash, and also define the eyes more. So what we're going to do now is move on to lips, and then we'll finish off with highlighter and setting spray.
Quiet on the set.
Quiet on the set. 3,
2.
1.
Action.
God's sake.
Action.
Action.
Okay, so
Hey,
what?
action.
All right.
Keep cool, cool boy.
Play it cool.
Shh, 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 Okay, so what I'm going to do now is line Rihanna's lips. Oscar, stop.
It wasn't me.
Stop.
Can you flour a surface for me? So we can...
Oh my god, I know you're doing it because you're just enjoying the
Please.
fun, but please, we're so close to finishing.
Please, just what I'm going to do now is I'm going to line Rihanna's lips. I'm using the Twist Up Lip Pencil by Sleek, and this is in the colour Shabby Chic. Basically just, it's more of a pink than a nude. Okay, so this is the NYX Butter Lipstick in the shade... What shade is this? Root Beer Float. Okay.
It's like a mauvey.
Yes, this is basically just a mauvey pink. And it's not really full coverage. It's not matte either, it's a cream. So all this is going to do is add a nice shine onto the lips. What I'd say is if you want to choose like a mauvey pink shade, it doesn't really matter what pink it is, as long as it is mauvey pink. It doesn't have to
Like
be
not
this.
hot pink.
No, not hot pink, not pale pink, not coral. We're going for like a mauvey rose toned pink. It's basically just your natural lip colour but accentuated. I'm going to pop on a gloss. This is number 7 Sparkling Rose. What this is it's basically a gold gloss with like pink reflex in it. So again, it's matching the eyes, it's mirroring what you've got on, it's making more of a monochromatic look to the entire face. And we're just going to pop this on over the top of the lipstick, like so. So now the final step is highlighter. I'm taking the Anastasia Beverly Hills Sun Dipped Glow Palette, and I'm taking the shade Moonstone. This is basically like more of a champagne-y highlighter. However, I'm taking it on an extremely small brush. This is the Real Techniques 200 brush. All I'm doing is tapping it lightly and then tapping the excess off. Because with highlighter, I know a lot of people like to, you know, glow for the gods, all that. However, you can't do that on stage because the lights are so bright, it will reflect way too much. You can see, I've used a blush with slight reflex in it, and Rihanna's cheeks are already glowing. So what I'm going to do is just take this brush and just lightly pat it just on the tops of her cheekbones, just so she looks extra glowy. However, please, you know, don't use your normal highlighter brush and don't go ham because there is no point. You'll look sweaty on stage basically. All I'm doing is taking a slight bit down the nose, slight bit on the tops of the brow bones, and because we didn't highlight her in a corner, I'm just going to lay the brush, close your eyes for me, just going to lay the brush right in the corner of her orbital bone like this. Okay, so now for the final set, what I'm going to use is some setting spray. This is the MAC Fix Plus. This is infused with coconut. Basically just gives it a nicer smell, doesn't change anything about the consistency. Very importantly, use setting spray. It will basically create another barrier on your skin from any any more sweat, any oils that you produce. Another thing is that it's going to melt all the powders together that we put on the face, because it is looking slightly cakey right now. You're creasing a little bit, but what this is going to do is basically melt it all into the face. Close your eyes for me. So as you can see, her face is extremely wet right now. If you keep your eyes closed, best thing to do is to fan it off like this and make sure that it's all nice and dry, and we will come back to you when everything's dry. Did you laugh at the fact I said fan it off?
Yeah.
Do you feel beautiful, Rihanna?
I feel very beautiful.
I bet you feel slightly cakey.
I feel
as
slightly
well.
cakey.
Yeah. Hey,
Hey
guys!
guys!
So this is the finished makeup look. As you can see, it's basically just extremely glowy, extremely contoured, darker skin tone, and the eyes are nice and defined. The lips you can see clearly, not too much highlighter. And basically, this is really good if you're going to go into theatre and you're going to obviously be on stage for the rest of your life, some of you hopefully. This is something that you need to learn how to do. You need to learn how to make your skin darker, glowy, eyes nice and defined. Obviously it's a lot more makeup than some of you would wear normally. But yeah, this is basically what the female ensemble will be wearing for the Yvonne. So I hope you enjoyed watching the video. Next video we're going to do is how to pop on a wig, and then there will be some hairstyle videos for you guys to choose from who are not going to be wearing a wig. And then I will be filming on my own a sort of male ensemble makeup look. So boys, you will have to wear makeup as well. Obviously it won't be as much as this, but it's basically just generic base and how to do things. Thank you very much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe, turn on the notifications and like the video as well. Thank you very much.
Thanks for beating my face, Callum.
Oscar, you ended the video with a burp.
No!
I'm actually going to end it like that as well.
Subscribe for more burps.
Yeah, boy.